When I was growing up, I don't remember reading poetry, but in my mid-20s, I decided to go to a spoken word poetry reading where there was an open mic. Borne away by distance. I, this wonderful catastrophe, the remains of words, gigantic in stature, distorted in proportions, this pause turning toward tremendous being. I attempt to speak, but the words die away on my lips. I've thought of ways to capture what I'm trying to do with human looking. And the way I think about it is that on one level it's like a window into other people's experience, which could be mine or it could be historical figures. But at the same time I feel like I want it to be a bit of a mirror as well, so that when people approach it, they're not just looking in like voyeuristically and getting some pleasure by looking at someone else, but suddenly they find themselves face to face with a bit of a mirror and they're actually looking at themselves. As someone who has lived with a disability and with visible difference, it's actually not easy to be in public eye, and so part of me actually wouldn't mind just hiding away and disappearing, but the nature of performance is that you have to get up and do it. And in fact, there's something really affirming and powerful about being in control of your own, of how other people see you. I shall exult in flames, the winds, borne away by distance. Thank you so much. I look at mythology, I look at artworks, I look at poems and books and writing that has been done about visually different people. And I also have a look at some of the aspects of my own experience, my own childhood and my own adulthood about what it's like to live in a body that is seen as other or different or deformed, and trying to make that as human as it really is. Seeing the image of Frankenstein, such an early image, we're used to seeing the monster as monstrous and terrifying. But in the image, he really looks quite normal on some level. So it's sort of a beautiful shock to respond to a poem that seemed to me to be objectifying and turn it into something that was really defiant. It was really exciting and liberating. Of course, on the other hand, writing poems over a number of years, that some of them were about quite difficult, traumatic events, and some of them were violent and, yeah, and difficult to sit with. So it did take its toll as well. I do all my writing at home, almost all my writing at home. A place where I can just shut the world out in a way and be comfortable with my own skin and just drift off and daydream. Of course, being shortlisted for the Prime Minister's Award was exhilarating and quite exciting, but I immediately just took out emotional insurance, I think, to say, well, I'm not going to win, someone else will win. So I was continually telling myself it wasn't going to happen. So it was quite a shock, I think.
The winner of the Prime Minister's Literary Award for Poetry is Andy Jackson.
Knowing that there's so much good poetry going on in Australia, to be chosen on top of that is wonderful. But it feels like an affirmation of, I think, my whole career. Those of us who are disabled are not off in a corner, but they're actually part of us. And being different is actually, that's what being human is. There's something about swimming that allows you to be fully embodied not thinking or overthinking. You just have to be present and be in your skin. The ducks don't care what you look like. The sky accepts you. It's all just a place to be human and alive. I remember this pale skin will be taken by the sky. My knees are already dedicated to the cracked earth. Lungs possessed by the ghost gums along the railway line. Valves and tissues will be given to people waiting patiently in a line. My chest cavity has given itself to the song of shy birds, and these eyes to the claim of your eyes.